we have something very exciting, at least for me. UPI and the MLS. We've been waiting for this, and the MLSs are doing the work now. So if we could have Olga and Joel from MLSListings come on up.
Hello, everybody. Happy to be here. I don't see Rebecca. I wanted to tell her that I could relate to the bumped knee in a ski accident story happened to me in Whistler. But in the spirit of personal sharing, I got to practice my public speaking a couple of weeks ago when I delivered Mother of the Bride speech. Thank you. My name is Olga. Olga Ermolin. I'm Director of Engineering at MLSListings. This is my recent role. I've been with MLSListings for about, 17 years. And over that time, all of my work was related to all kinds of things, data standards, data analytics, data aggregations, and naturally, I've been part of RESO for maybe 10 out of those 18 years.
Hi, I'm Joel Allison. I'm a developer in the data services group reporting to Olga. I've been most recently with MLSListings since 2019. I had a prior stint there from 2005 to 2011.
So we're here to share with you our experience of adopting, implementing UPI, Unique Property Identifier standard, and releasing it to production. It's live, it's not a POC work. Before we get to it, a little background, 500 MLSs in the country, 7 just in San Francisco Bay Area, and we're one of them. We're this blue area on the bottom covering Peninsula and South Bay. We, with our partners, with our neighbors that are on this map, for many years, 10 plus years, we've had an arrangement or a service to our subscribers where they could where we provided reciprocal access into each of our systems for agents to go and maximize exposure for their listings. We are all bordering with each other. We share service areas, and agents naturally took advantage of that. About a year ago, we stopped the service and we implemented full data share where people come into their home system, create a listing, and it flows into all of the 7 MLSs in the NorCal Alliance. But since we've been data sharing, allowing this reciprocal access for so many years, we of course accumulated a lot of duplicate records. So few numbers on the board. Besides 7 MLSs in Bay Area, we also data share with few other MLSs in the country, in the state. And total today, we have about 12 million listings. It's a significant number for us, coming from 200,000 agents. And just since 2010, we observe more than 100,000 duplicate listings in our systems. The percentages that you see represent on average number of duplicate listings in all of the 7 MLSs that we data share in NorCal. Beyond duplication, we see actually listings appearing more than twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, and even 7 times numbers on the board. So very common issue for any data share, big or small, duplicate listings. And of course, we're all asking, wouldn't it be nice not to have duplicate listings and be able to provide accurate stats, reliable trends, reliable market data reports for our subscribers? Wouldn't it be nice for an agent to have a complete view into property history, regardless where that property was sold over the years, if the sale happened in different MLSs with different data entry, business rules, etc. Wouldn't it be nice to have clean, concise, reliable data related to property, again, regardless where the listing came from. And finally, why stop at MLS? Wouldn't it be nice to have an easy way to connect MLS data to outside sources, to data related to the sale of the property, like appraisals or liens, loans, permits? Keep these questions in mind and we'll come back to it. So we always had a need at MLS listings to have some kind of unique property identifier. Um, Simply, the reality is we have a few pockets, few markets in our service areas where there is no well-defined APN and no well-defined address. I know it's hard to believe. I can provide example to whoever is interested. So beyond deduplication, if we're just working in one system, there is no problem of duplicate records. But that unique identifier, we had to come up with to just simply tie history together. So we had a proprietary solution. We called it Property Master ID, PMID. Worked for us really well for many years. But you cannot use it to correlate to outside sources. You cannot really use it for data share because we are the only ones who know about it. So when we looked at our data share and the condition of that set to resolve the issues that we were facing, we decided to go the standard way, RESO way.
Okay, so the Universal Property Identifier. It's a unique, ubiquitous, and decentralized reference ID. It's useful for correlating property information in disparate systems. That's straight out of the RESO specification. So I'm going to talk about our implementation, provide an overview and information about how we got to where we are today. Just so that you see an example, a universal property identifier consists of a geographic section. So you see US is the country code. The next 5 digits help identify the state and the county. There's a few other designators in there, but you see the second number on the right side, that's a parcel number. And so one of the most important things to know about UPI is that it requires reliable parcel number data from tax authorities in all of the localities that you're working with. So once you have a UPI, what can you do with it? Well, the most important thing to do is actually assign that UPI to your listings. In our case, in our implementation, we're using relaxed parcel number matching and relaxed address matching in order to do that. I say relaxed because exact matching is a luxury. It's not a necessity. We've got data that was entered in multiple systems across many years with different business rules. You're never going to consistently find a properly or reliably formatted parcel number in that data. You're going to find variations in street suffixes and so forth. So exact matching, don't count on it. And if you're working with a large data set, it's important to have some ways of measuring your success. In our implementation, we've introduced 2 metrics to help us do that. The confidence score is a score that helps us say how well we match the parcel number, whether it's an exact match or a near match with just formatting differences or extra zeros and so forth. An accuracy score, the second one that we use, is how well does a listing that we've assigned a UPI to, how well does that listing match the key information behind that UPI, the address, the parcel number. And of course, when you're working with data, practitioners will know that you're never going to get to 100%. Failure is an option. So in our implementation, we have a private identifier that looks very much like a UPI, but it's not. It's a synthetic UPI, it's a placeholder, it's an opportunity for us to come back and look at that location and see if we can do better. So how did we get there? Well, we took an iterative approach. We didn't arrive at our solution all at once. As we were becoming familiar with the standard, we chose a subset of our data, our listings, and we said, okay, let's take the parcel number from our listings and generate UPIs and see what we come up with. And based on my comments from the prior slide, you may immediately recognize that listing data is not really the best or most reliable source of parcel number data. And so that initial generation 1 prototype was a learning experience, but it really wasn't an adequate solution in any way. So in generation 2, we did what we should have done right from the start. We used text data to generate UPIs. And we matched up listings to those UPIs using the parcel number. And we were able to get to 83% coverage across our listings by using that approach. We still had some issues. If the parcel number in the listing really isn't correct, you're not going to get the match that you're looking for. So in generation 3, we introduced address matching as well, building on our generation 2 experience. And using a combination of matching techniques, we were able to get our UPI coverage for our listings up to 94%. If you're interested in more details about what went into each of those iterations, please join us on Thursday morning at the UPI work group meeting. So how did we do? We asked ourselves 2 questions, right? Completeness, right? How much coverage did we get across all the listings that we were looking at? And accuracy. So if we got coverage, did we do it well? Did we do it accurately and correctly? In terms of completeness, we were looking at about 8.9 million residential listings. That was our target data set for this project. We have an additional number of listings that aren't residential listings that we'll work on in the future. We were able to assign UPIs to about 8.4 million of those, representing about 94% coverage for that target set of listings. In terms of accuracy, when we assign a UPI to a listing, 83% of them were a perfect match. Both the address and the parcel number match. We have a high degree of confidence that those are properly assigned UPIs to those listings. We also have some partial matches. We have cases where we were able to match by parcel number, but there was some issue with the address, and vice versa. The address matched, but not the parcel number. Using a combination of techniques is what gave us that extra 11% bump and got us to 94% coverage. That final 6%, we assigned synthetic UPIs to those, and we're going to go back and revisit those, look at corner cases, look at data quality issues, and see what we can do to continue shaving percentage points off of our missing UPIs, missing listings.
I'm glad you addressed the 6%. I'm sure a lot of people were wondering what happened to those. I want to emphasize that 94% coverage applies to 22 years of data. Just think about it. What kind of data entry tools did we have 20 years ago? What kind of business rules? So a lot of data cleanup went, of course, into matching into this project, and to assign UPI to such a large, old data set, our entire data share is pretty good. So engineers measure success in numbers, right, and completeness, but we have to remember about the whole purpose of this project. We addressed the business cases, use cases that we set out to address. We deduplicated our data set, detriplicated in many cases. It's live, it's in production, it's in our primary MLS system. It's accessible to few of the vendors who build analytical solutions for our subscribers. We connected history together. An agent goes and looks at the property and can see where and how it was sold, regardless where the sale took place in which of the MLSs that we data share with. Again, live in production. And duplicate listings, of course, generate duplicate history, right? On average, we observe that a listing contributes about 3 to 4 history records. So if we had 100,000 duplicate listings, you can imagine there is that many times 3, 4, 5 duplicate history records to deduplicate. And all of this is done in production. So the work is not done, of course. A few more things to take care of.
So once you have a UPI and you've tied that UPI to your listings, what else can you do? Well, you can certainly standardize certain things that don't change about a location, the Latin longitude, the geography. Certainly the APN isn't going to change, but you really want to have the best properly formatted, accurate APN that's issued by the local taxing authority. If there are subdivisions and new development and things like that, new tie those to your UPIs as well. So it's a live process. It's continuously running, continuously, carrying updates into the system. Information from previous listings can be carried forward if you're tying your listings together with UPIs. For MLS listings, in our service area, we'd like to extend UPI coverage to those non-residential listings. So we've got about another 2.35 million listings to go. These are commercial listings, lots and lands, anything that's not, a single-family home or a condo or something like that.
Yeah, these are our housekeeping items that we kind of have to address. But after that is when the fun part starts, where we can go outside of MLS data and bring in data sets from organizations that also implement UPI, easily connected to our data sets, such as of MLS sales or different data set related to property that is not really captured in MLS. So if you are one of those organizations, please talk to us. And of course, once you have this data set clearly assigned UPI, there are incredible insights and visualizations you can build that could be very useful to our subscribers. After UPI, we will dive into ULI. That work already started. Unique licensee identifier, also really important, and unique organization identifier. So at the end of the day, I want to emphasize that it would have been very easy for us to just continue with the proprietary algorithm. Deduplicating is not a new issue. I'm sure many people in the room addressed it. We made a conscious decision to invest into implementing UPI in hopes to go outside of MLS and bring back different data sets and collaborate with other organizations. When we enrich our data, it gives opportunity to build very interesting and useful tools and services for subscribers. We hope our experience inspired, encouraged whoever is in POC state or on the fence still deciding. Join us for more discussions in R&D group and UPI group. And if you have any questions, now you know how we look. Thank you.